Map number 2 of this best of 3 now underway. Habitation Station is the map, and we should be seeing a very awesome game, especially if map 1 had anything to say about the caliber of these two players. Spawning in the top left hand position as the green ZvP player, representing Team Dignitas, none other than Tefel. And his opponent spawning to the top right, representing My Insanity, 1-0 up, looking to take an early 2-0 lead. It's Stardust. If Stardust is able to win this game, he advances straight into those quarterfinals, where he is going to be taking on the winner of Dana and Kira. Not sure how their series is currently going, but I will be keeping a close eye on that. Once you get into those quarterfinals, you're immediately starting to look at some money. If you make it into the quarterfinals and win the quarterfinals, you are guaranteed at least 75 euros, which is a decent chunk of cash. Definitely for what should be a couple of hours work if you go out in the semi-finals. Stardust again opening with that Forge first build. Not definitely going to be a cannon rush, but it'll be interesting to see if he decides to go for it, especially since game number 1, Tefel defended a cannon rush beautifully. Everything really going the way you would have wanted. Quick check up there to see exactly what kind of tech's coming down, and Stardust just dancing around with this probe, putting the pylon down, so he's going to be opening with that aggressive cannon rush yet again. Whether or not it will be effective, we've got to keep a close eye on, because Tefel, as I've mentioned in game 1, defended this perfectly. Tefel, again, scouts the pylons there. Stardust isn't able to utilize the map as effectively as he did on Polar Night to prevent the cannons coming down. But for the moment, just the one pylon, no attempt to place any cannons. And behind this, the Nexus coming down and the gateway there. So this is just a fake out right now from Stardust. He wanted to panic Tefel, waste some mining time, and he's done that. My maths on the run though, not good enough to work out if the wasted mining time of 5 drones is worth 100 minerals that pylon cost. Someone far more intelligent than myself probably can work that out and let us all know at some point in the chat or comments, but hey, it's gonna be a significant amount of resources. Stardust did get momentarily supply blocked there, but alleviated it with another pylon in his main. One of the downsides to building that pylon proxied. Cybercore on its way out now. We've got the Nexus nearly finished up, whereas Tefel happily going along his normal play. He scouted out some great information with this Overlord, knew that the Nexus came down significantly earlier than in game number 1, knows the timing of this gateway and stuff, so can be fairly confident that his opponent has opened pretty normally, and is now going to have to look to take the third. But while Tefel has moved up towards that gold base, Stardust scouted at the earliest of early opportunities. Immediately an Overlord comes over, knowing that this is a bit of a risk for him and that a cannon could come down. But if Tefel is able to secure this gold base, which with a couple of drones coming over just to make sure that it's safe, he should be able to do, actually, then it's a big win. This gold base gives more minerals per minute for less drones, and that's big. It means that less lava need to be spent early to get a bigger gain, and that's something Stardust is going to want to try and stop. Is putting down a pylon now, dancing the probe around. There's a couple of lings there, but a Zealot going to be able to deal with them. Stardust really doesn't want to allow this hatchery to finish, doesn't want to give Tefel access to those additional resources. Cannon should get started nice and quick, and with the Zealot defending it, unfortunately for Tefel, he would have to commit a large amount of resources in order to stop this. A lot of lings coming through, another pylon on its way down, and this is just guarding that first cannon. The important thing is that the Zealot, backed in the corner here, shouldn't be able to get surrounded, and as a result, can actually fend off a good number of Zerglings. An attempt to come around here, but with the cannon now done, this is looking as a bit of a struggle for Tefel. Another cannon coming through, just really making this an incredible incredibly defended position. So Tefel's greedy play of taking this gold base first may not pay off that well for him. He does have queens coming over. They're going to certainly help to prevent additional cannons coming through. But with 2 cannons now up, and Stardust behind this starting some Phoenix, Tefel's going to have to be careful. He only needs a couple of Phoenix, which he's got, to lift both of these queens and prevent them from doing much more damage. The Spine Crawler is going to help as well, but in now come the Zerglings. They're getting some more damage through. The queen gets lifted, taken out as it was already weakened up. And while this cannon rush has been unable to take out the hatchery, what it has achieved is a significant amount of units to be produced by Tefel, reducing his drone count, and also delaying any benefit that he can get from this hatchery, and also allowing his Phoenix now to get a pretty big win. A few more Overlords getting taken out. These Phoenix do need to be microed out of the way, but not quite quickly enough. Means that one dies, but a good number of Overlords go down, and this is a incredibly heavy supply block right now for Tefel. Does alleviate it, but still needs more Overlords to actually get any sizable production through. So the counterattack has a lot of weight on it working. A Void Ray frantically trying to be produced. Stardust attempting to wall off as best he can, but no, these roaches have already penetrated through the natural wall. Able to take out the cannons means there isn't really much there, and since the Mothership Core has only just now been produced, there's no Photon Overcharge. Good damage being done by these roaches. They stop the Stargate from being able to produce the Void Ray with just a second to go, and this is guaranteeing a huge amount of damage to be done by Tefel's roaches up in the main. Out comes that Void Ray, which is going to be crazy effective up against these roaches. But Tefel should feel quite happy with what he's done so far. He's managed to kill off 7 workers, whereas Stardust hasn't killed any drones yet. And he's also completely cup mining from the main base for a substantial amount of time. Couple more probes, gonna get taken down. These roaches are doing everything that they can possibly hope to achieve before they die. Stardust now going for his own gold base. He's got these Phoenix still harassing. Really both players trading heavy blows wherever possible. With the Void Rays coming down, this lair is critically important. Hydra's going to be essential to try and stop this, but the Ling harassment towards the 3rd attempt is going to probably force the cancel. 1 Void Ray, 1 Zealot, not the greatest in contending with a lot of Lings, and so the cancel goes down and Tefel maintains that 1 base lead while continuing to pressure and just generally being as irritating to Stardust as he possibly can. The Void Ray count though, rapidly rising, and with only roaches on the field, it's going to be quite tough to defend with just queens and spores alone. But the Hydra Den has begun, it's on its way out, and once Hydras start hitting the field, that's when this Void Ray Immortal composition isn't going to be as effective as Stardust may hope. So what Stardust does now is transition into Colossus. He's got the Robotics Bay coming through, additional gateways coming through, and he's also trying to take that 3rd yet again. In come the Phoenix, going to be able to pick off a few more drones, keeping Tefel's drone count pretty low. It's not devastating, however, because Tefel is at the gold base, and as I previously mentioned, the gold base's big advantage isn't necessarily that it gets more minerals per minute, but that it needs less drones to do that, which means that having a slightly lower drone count doesn't matter to Tefel as much as it would on maps without a gold base. The full Skytoss force though, starting to accumulate, more Void Rays, more Phoenix coming through, but now the Hydralisks are starting to make their way out, and that's where these Void Rays and Phoenix are going to look pretty silly if they try and engage head up. Void Rays getting annihilated there, big misplay by Stardust, allowing those to get killed. His attention will have been elsewhere. Tefel probably can't believe his luck there that he traded an Extractor for 2 Void Rays, but what it's done is given Tefel an even bigger advantage this game, and things looking incredibly good for the Dignitas player. A cancel already gone down on Stardust's 3rd. He knew there was not a hope that he could defend that against the incoming attack. But can he defend this natural? The first Colossus, not yet out, not going to be out in time, so the force fields are going to be important. No potent overcharge as the Mothership Core was picked up very fast. Force fields looking quite good though. The Colossus trying to take down this army as it moves up the ramp, dishing out a lot of hurt, splashing a considerable number of these units, and forcing Tefel back for now. But this is in no way a full retreat yet. Tefel is pumping out more units, so he is preparing for a follow-on attack. He knows that he's fully saturated at all of these bases, needs one more droning gas there, but he's got his hive, meaning that Vipers can be coming out exceptionally soon. He's gone for mainly a Hydralisk heavy army, and once he's got those Vipers, even the Colossus isn't going to be able to stop that. May not even come to that though, as Tefel, moving forward, he's got just a lot of stuff here at the moment, and that's going to be the concern for Stardust, who continues to try and harass with these Phoenix, tries to pick off a couple more workers. But he's only managed 9 worker kills so far, and that is not tragic to Tefel. Replacing them up nice and quick, getting those Vipers out, ready for the abducts onto the Colossi. And the big thing now is that we need to see Stardust buy himself some more time. How he's going to do that, I'm not quite sure. Some big warp-ins are certainly going to help. He needs to get enough time to get this third out and get more Colossi to be able to stop this army just rolling over him. The force fields are going to play an important part. Can they hit the money? And yes, they can to start with. Zoning out about half of that Zerg army, allowing the Colossi to slaughter countless numbers. And Tefel, again, going to be pulling back a bit further. But now the game changer. The Vipers hitting the field. A couple of good abducts mean that these Colossi are basically just sitting ducks. They're going to get absolutely destroyed. But only if the abducts go down well. However, with no anti-air, there's nothing to stop the Vipers. Good micro by Stardust, pulling back these damaged Colossi, keeping them alive for as long as possible, actually managing to keep all 4 up for now. This is allowing them to do a considerable amount of damage, and Tefel not getting the amount of kills that he would have wanted there. The Zealots doing a fantastic job of soaking up significant portions of the fire. And now with these Vipers out of energy, Tefel actually not going to be looking for an engage anytime soon. And somehow, Stardust has bought himself some more time. But Tefel knows that if he keeps this pressure on, he keeps trading with Stardust, there's just no way he's going to be able to consistently take these engagements. He doesn't have the economy to do it. So Tefel is kind of playing the exact opposite to what Stardust wants. Tefel wants to end this game as fast as he can. Stardust, though, wanting to draw it out. Force fields come down, they're really good force fields, prevent the attack entirely, and as such, Tefel has to reposition, and it gives Stardust some more time still. But this is a great reposition. Units coming from the flank, getting a good amount of damage down. 1 Colossus falls. The other 3 still staying alive for the moment, but the gateway support for these Colossi rapidly melting. Only an Immortal and a Sentry stand between the Zerg forces and these Colossi. A couple of quick Zealot warp-ins by Stardust, yet more time. But Tefel, he's defeated everything in his path. Only the Colossi stand. They will fall exceptionally quickly without supporting units. And this is looking very good now for Tefel. He can continue on with this pain, continue the punishment, and Stardust really can micro to his heart's intent, but I don't think it's going to be enough. All the Colossi have now fallen, and the reinforcements coming in for Tefel. He's only got trickle enforcements though, so with only a small number of them coming through, it's going to be a big problem if Stardust can produce equally. But unfortunately, Stardust can't produce equally. These 2 Archons, a bit of a desperation move, trying to just tank up this force. And it's doing an okay job. It's preventing Tefel from actually putting the nail in the coffin. But if Tefel just gets a couple of waves of reinforcements in, he's going to have an overwhelming volume of units, which we're already seeing now in that overall army supply. 76 to 33 in Tefel's favour. And the pressure really starting to close in. Probes getting taken down. the work account heavily in Tefel's favour now. GG is called, and Tefel levels out this series to be 1-1, meaning we're going in to that ace game.